From ThousandIslandsDiscGolf.com, we bring you a FLYBOY Canada first-class, full-flight conversation. You'll be listening in to Anastasios, Brian, and Greg as we explore the unique world of disc golf. We'll be talking about living the disc golf life in Brockville, from the joys of being on the courses in our backyard to digging deeper into the very community that surrounds them. Join us as we unbag all that's waiting for you to experience.
Disc golf, yeah. Disc golf, yeah.
How many times do you guys play on the Captain Andy's boat?
We're usually 2 times a season. I think last year we just did the one because of scheduling. I think it was in June, but we're 2 a year. June, September, something like that.
How many people you got on that thing?
It's jam packed. It's always a really quick sellout because it's a lot of fun. Right. Like honestly, for me, we have a lot of great shows over the summer, but those shows are a highlight because it's like being in Ireland. Like you're like a bar in Ireland. You're stuck in one place for a while. Everyone's drinking and having a good time with no fights.
All right. Well, listen. This is not another episode of Healing and Ore.
Yes, sir.
While we're talking about this, is today Thousand Islands and Seaway Cruises announced that they are currently constructing 2 12-passenger tiki boats for operation this summer. That's going to have a certified captain and a licensed bar.
Good. That's very cool.
Yeah, and that brings a tear to my eye because, as Greg knows, one of the difficult things we've had when we put the island courses in, right. Refugee and Harvey, was that we really had no way to get people there.
Yeah, it's I've got a boat. It's just a 17-foot boat, but it'd be good for transporting people back and forth. I didn't really find time to hook up with people, but maybe this summer we can get a little bit of a game night going and get some people out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't had the pleasure of doing that yet, so that'd be something on my list for sure this summer.
Yes, and I think that I know it's not in their game plan, and nobody knows how much they're going to charge for this or anything else. Right. And I'm not suggesting that we're going to be able to fill this boat up or anything like that, but just knowing that they're going to have these. First of all, it's a great idea. Right. It's really cool for Brockville, but maybe somewhere in there, like an off schedule or something, we'll be able to work with Captain Andy and see about, because it's a 12-passenger boat. Maybe we can get some disc golfers out or a couple of events.
I think I could get 7 right there.
You can get 7 right there, exactly.
Yeah.
A tiki boat. Do we have to paddle that?
No, you don't have to paddle it, Greg.
Okay, good.
There's a certified captain.
There's certified captain.
Thank God it's not an uncertified captain. You know that.
But yeah, so I mean that's just it. Once again, it's like there's, you talk to people about doing it, and they worry about insurance and everything else. And
sure.
Obviously, we can't get people onto the island on his big boat. But man, you know about the difficulty of actually getting on the islands.
Yeah, it's getting back and forth isn't too big a deal, but you have to have the docking fees, and you got to be able to launch your boat, and you have to find the time to do it. But if you got a kayak or a canoe and you can just launch from shore and scoot across, that's a pretty easy way to do it too.
I think everybody loves getting out and playing disc golf on the islands. They're not the best courses going, of course, but it's not really about...
It's on an island.
Oh, but you've got the thrill of, do I want to lose that disc or not?
Exactly.
And you know me, I don't want to lose mine.
Yeah. And the cool thing is hole 5 on Refugee Island is the closest basket to the international border. It's only like 300 meters from the international boundary line, so it's kind of fun, what are you going to do? Cool. Anyway, so that's fun news. Hopefully this will turn out into something great. We'll see. You're going to have to pull some strings and talk to Captain Andy for it.
I can talk to him, yeah.
No pressure.
And there's a bar in the boat.
Yeah.
Cheeky.
And there's a bar on the boat. That does it right there.
What a tough sell.
Exactly. So from some decent news to some not so decent news, I'm just going to get into some actual business in Canada in disc golf. We got some price increases coming across Canada. On January 7th, Innova had to up their prices a little bit to deal with the dropping Canadian dollar against the U.S. dollar.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's not a lot. It's not anything you should be worried about, but it's enough. It's something. something's going to happen, that should be reflected across the board. I haven't heard of Prodigy's set to do anything like that just yet, but I can only imagine any of these companies that are shipping in products from the U.S. Will be affected a little bit. Maybe $1, maybe 50 cents to $1, something like that.
What I was going to ask. How much is? What's the cost going to be to me? Because I like to buy a disc or 2 or 7
every day.
Every Saturday.
But it brings up the bigger concern. We're dealing with old Trumpster, not getting political, but the whole tariff issue is whether or not, if it does happen February 1st, Canada's claims they're going to retaliate, and what that means to disc golf prices. And I reached out to the powers that be across the board, and what it seems like is that if a company has a Canadian presence in Canada, such as Prodigy or now Innova that opened up at the end of last year, when I might not see them, if it does happen, it might not be a big swing on their end because they're sort of like same company just across the border. But what could possibly happen is those other companies that don't have a Canadian presence, you will see a dramatic price, and 25% is exponentially.
That's a lot of coin.
Prices are always going up, and when they go up even more than normal, it hurts.
Yeah.
Well, it affects you. It doesn't hurt. If it's only 50 cents or $1, most of us can absorb that. Yeah. But it depends how many discs you buy.
Right. Uh-oh.
And
I'm doing the math.
Yeah. And the thing is that I don't know anything about it. So again, we're talking speculation here, completely 100%. And with these companies that do bring in other manufacturers such as Discraft, Discmania, especially like Latitude 64 or anything that's created over in European countries, I don't know if they're bringing them in directly from the European countries. So I don't know if if they are Latitude 64 or Casaplast would be affected with these distributors. But certainly Discraft would. Right. Because they're out of Michigan, so that's dynamic disc. So I guess it's anything that touches the American soil before it comes up.
Okay.
And that kind of blows, man, because that's a big jump, and with Prodigy's already really low prices, that would really escalate that quite a bit.
Price increase, it happens, but just a question for you. You've been on the Prodigy team ambassador for the last few years. Are you on their team this year?
No, actually not this year. I was asked, and we love Prodigy. If it wasn't Michael Sullivan, we wouldn't have disc golf in Brockville to the extent that we do. But we would start talking about doing the podcast and everything else, and I just felt this year it was probably not to do this podcast properly. We want to be able to have value system states, maybe not be so tied.
To make out honest statements.
Yeah, exactly.
And just be able to talk freely.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. And like I said, nothing's going to stop us from continuing on the positive attitude with Prodigy. But yeah, thanks for asking. I appreciate that. But going back to what we were talking about, the one last point I was kind of curious about, and I'm just wondering if it's going to be cool, is if the tariff thing did happen, do you think that with that kind of a price difference would make Discraft want to have a Canadian presence?
If that helps them, it's probably easy enough to set up if they want to do it. They look at the numbers, they crunch the numbers, but it would help us if they could do that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a little bit of good news, bad news for the day. Let's bring on the cheeky boats and let's see if we can get out to the islands. So we got our first guest.
I'm looking forward to this.
Should be good. Yeah. Kevin Sexton is here to tell us a pretty great story. And we'll unbag that as soon as we take a quick break.
Disc golf, yeah.
All right, we're back, and we are with Kevin Sexton now. Anastasios, he is a buddy of yours.
He is.
He's in your crew.
Uh-huh.
He didn't win the green jacket.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
How far off were you, Kevin?
Two two strokes, I think.
Yeah, it was a
was
couple
close.
strokes.
It was
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
I don't know. I think you guys have something here, and I'm sure that a lot of people are just going to be jumping on this and asking to challenge you for the green jacket.
So does that mean you were second?
I was second.
No one remembers second.
Sitting here with first and second. This is an honor. It's good to have you here.
Well, thank you.
It's good to see the first runner-up.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's great to have you as our first guest, Kevin. You know, we're all about community, and we're all about bringing the joy of disc golf to everybody. And we thank you for opening up about this. But you're going to talk to us about what?
The fun we've had doing it, the health reasons for doing it. Like for myself, my point was a weight loss. I had a hard time losing weight, and to walk down the road like, let's go for a walk. It was kind of boring. When you get into this, it's like you're walking, you don't realize how much you're walking, and you're losing weight at the same time. Which, for someone having diabetes, brought my sugar levels right down, and I'm off medication altogether. We were walking 20 kilometers a week, and not realizing it.
Easy, yeah.
Right? So it's
I need to remember that. I'm playing disc golf for health reasons. Yes, that is a new reason to head out.
It started out as just a great fun game, but then all these bonuses and positive things go with it, right? It's more than just having fun. It's great. It's great.
So if you can take us back real quick, so how long you guys been playing again?
April 9th is when we started.
That's right.
Yeah.
You actually have the date. That's great. So April 9th is when you were having these health problems on April 9th.
Yeah.
And you're saying that from the time, look, I'm not suggesting this is disc golf. This is just about quality of life, right? And difference of life and what it did for you. But you're saying since April 9th, you had type 2 diabetes?
Type 2, yeah.
Like full on?
Full on, yeah. I was like plus, I was 11, and now I'm like at 5'9", 5'7".
That's amazing.
Is that considered, the doctor considers that?
Yeah, that's perfect. They want to see you around 6'5". Is kind of the good line. That's where they want to be at.
Optimal range.
Yeah. So I went from 11 down to 6'9", down to 6'5", down to 5'9".
How quick was the progression from when you started?
It was slow going, but like I say, you don't realize it, all the exercise you're getting. And then when I started seeing results, I could tell my pant size was getting down, an extra hole in my belt. Now I'm just watching more of what I eat. It just progressed, right? And my doctor's like, he goes, I can't believe this, because most of our patients we don't get this from our patients. Wow. Right? So they're very happy and keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, so.
God, you can make me cry, buddy. You can make me cry.
So when you started to play disc golf, was this one of your goals, was to get more walking, more exercise?
Honestly, I didn't even think about that.
You were just out for the fun.
Out for the fun.
Yeah.
Anastasios got me in it, and we just went out, and it was just, this is awesome.
So this was a side effect of going out and having fun.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's the key point right there. I mean, that's like I said, we're not going to sit here and say that disc golf cures diabetes, but it's just the enthusiasm you had for the sport that kept you out on the course.
Yeah.
Kept you going.
It's exercise that I wouldn't have done, right? Just by being out and getting this extra exercise that you won't even think about it as exercise. Right. You don't even think about that. You're not trying to lose weight, trying to do this, trying to do that. It's just by being out there. This is what's happening. It's the results of all just being out there.
And you're just playing for fun, right? Not competition at all.
No.
The green
Just
jacket.
for fun.
It doesn't bother him when he comes in second.
But how many times would you say you're hitting the course now?
Right now we're only doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But usually summertime is Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, the odd Monday.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to get an idea of what, like, how much you were putting in during the.
So in that time, like I say, we were looking. We averaged around 3.5 kilometers around.
About 3.
Around 3 kilometers around.
Depends if you lose a disc or not.
Yeah. On one round.
On one round. Yeah.
So but you're not playing just one round.
No, sometimes we were playing 2 rounds or 3 rounds a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the weekend, right? Yeah.
4 days, 5 days.
Not on a
week.
Tuesday.
And you're married, right?
And they're married.
That's another podcast.
But it's for health reasons.
That's what you get to tell your wives now, right? I'm doing it for health reasons.
It's true.
Keeping me away from the bar, keeping me away from the restaurants. I'm out on the course.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You've played all the courses in Brockville?
No, you haven't. No, I've only done a couple of them. I like Bartholomew, so we're there quite often.
FLYBOY Canada.
Yeah, we've done the funnel. But I do want to do some of the Wisers. There was a couple other ones that I want to do. We just haven't done yet.
We got into sort of a routine, because that course is so beautiful. But we did one road trip this year to Eddyville. So yeah, I think we'll expand on our range a little bit more this coming season for sure. Kevin, I know we're talking a lot about the diabetes and stuff, but the other nice thing I see, in our group as well as you're disc golfing with Wes, your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's brought you. It's been a beautiful thing to see. Wes come out and get excited as you are, and it's been good for his health as well.
Yeah.
So it's just that's my comment on it. I'm just really proud of you, man. That's very cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he just loves it. Wesley loves it too. Like, he's the one that's got out and got 2 aces already. And he doesn't let me forget every time we go out.
That's amazing. You guys were in the store before Christmas, and him just looking around and talking, and you just see the sparkle in his eye. He seemed to really be digging it. Yeah. So
how many in your group when you're going out?
We're usually
4 to 7.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting health improvements?
We're all out there for health reasons.
Well, if I can do it, they can do it.
For medicinal purposes only.
Okay, so that's a big group. It takes longer with a big group to get around too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
We're getting into a good groove though. Where I think the etiquette's really kicking in, and we're mindful and moving quickly. So
let's just jump back in real quick. So a lot of exercise during the summer, playing a lot, games dwindling down during the winter. Are you seeing anything negative happen there?
I'm still. I'd like to say I checked my sugars, still good, right? I did put a few pounds on because we got Christmas and all the goodies, all the sweets, and trying to stay away from. But you get caught up in some, right? And we're not walking as much, but we're still. My numbers are still good. I'm still 15 pounds under from what I started at. Wow. It's
another. But you're very athletic to begin with. Like, you softball guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're always doing something.
I did. I quit. I told everybody in my softball league I'm done. This is I called it quits last year because I said to my my wife's been always bugging me, no more, because you don't get hit with the baseball in the face twice, that kind of thing.
Now it's
so she said you got to quit. And I said not until I got something else to do. Now I've got something else to do. So I told every other team that this is my last year for baseball. Because we got younger guys that want to play, so I've had my time with it, so I move on to something else now.
Right, but is softball a very athletic sport?
It is. You do. It's like there's still a lot of running, but it's hard on the knees because it's run, stop. Whereas this, it's you're uphill, downhill, and there's more exercise. I do a lot more walking for sure in this than baseball because you run quick, you stop, and then if I'm pitching. So you're in one certain spot pitching. You walk in, walk out.
You're putting some miles on.
You're putting some miles on, yeah, for sure. And then we play 1 game of baseball, we play 3 games of golf.
As many rounds as I'm allowed to stay away from home.
Where were you guys?
Well, you talked about your sugar levels getting better, and this was getting better, and your exercise and your belt. What about your game?
It's right now. I guess it's not as good as it was, but we are in the winter months. Yeah. There's a lot of you're in boots, you're on ice, you're bulked up. So I mean, it's still fun. Yeah, we're still all competing. Like I still hold the course record for the summer and you got the fall. I got the winter.
Okay. No one wants to hear about.
So you guys do keep score when you play?
Yeah.
Why else would you be out there?
Yeah.
I always keep score.
Yeah.
We have our ace pot, which keeps everybody, like Wesley just wants to keep going for that. Everyone wants to go out. Even if you're not having a great game, you say, okay, well, there's still the ace pot. So we're about $87 in the ace pot right now.
It's time.
So do you have any more goals, with, like health-wise right now?
Well, I like to say that talking to the dietitian, they just said whatever you're doing, keep doing. So like if I could stay healthy this way. I play a lot of darts and stuff like that, but nothing as much walking and exercise is what you're doing here. So if I can my goal is keep my numbers where they're at, keep my weight where it's at, and I'll be good. I won't have to hopefully worry about medication down the road. We all get older and stuff like that happens, but my goal is to keep doing what I'm doing and keep my sugar levels where they're at. As long as I can keep playing disc golf, then I'm sure that'll happen.
Were you on medication?
Yeah.
You were for a while, and then
yeah.
Your numbers got better, did they roll that medication
They rolled
back?
it down to the minimal of what I could take, and then they eventually said, okay, your numbers are getting too low,
That's
so
amazing.
we're taking
That's
you off.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 60 milligram to 30 milligram, and that was the lowest. And then they took me right off of there because my numbers were getting too low. I was getting low readings on my patch there. So
That's
Very good.
That's wonderful, man. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, how much to exercise? How much to disc golf? How much to your diet? How much to just, do you really think that disc golf was important in this, or do you think it was
for sure.
was it just getting out?
I tried, like I said, I've been on the medication for the last 3 years now, and my numbers slowly came down, but I got to a halt. You know what I mean? And then once we got doing this, that's when my numbers started coming down and kept coming down, and now I'm right exactly where I should be.
It's amazing. I mean, people don't talk about it that much, but disc golf does pack a punch on burning calories and getting physical. I think they average, you can burn like 750, 850 calories per round, depending on the size of the course. I'm just throwing out
And the number of times in the trees.
But it's a lot of it's not just the walking. The walking's great, but I mean it's also a lot of shots of power. Shots of energy that you're using up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the sheer number of rounds of disc golf you're playing is clearly the winner.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of freaking disc golf.
There's a lot of volume there. Yeah.
When you play around, and then you decide to play another round, it starts raining. So we go for lunch, and we decide, let's do one more round. So we stopped the giant tiger ball, we closed, and went out again for the third round.
That's amazing.
Rainstorm. We had to get dry clothes at the giant tiger.
That's fantastic. Listen, thank you very much, brother, for sharing your
thank you.
story.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thanks for having
great to have you as our first guest. This is a wonderful story, and hopefully others will, have the same kind of benefit of playing the course. And you getting some people out playing? Are you sharing?
Yeah. I've got a few guys that want to get out. And in the summertime, they will be out because they're all asking questions about it. Why don't you come over and play dart? No, I'm disc golfing. Sorry, guys. How can you live for baseball? I just got done disc golfing.
That's awesome. Man.
So yeah, more and more want to try it for sure.
Excellent. That's great. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
thank you
And
for having
me.
congratulations, and we wish you well. Best of health continued. And you guys have anything else to offer?
No, it's just amazing. Thanks for coming, man.
We'll see you out on the course.
We'll see you on the course.
I think I've gone by your group when I was out there by myself for healthy reasons, and I think I went past your group a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it always looked like you were having fun,
Oh, yeah.
but I was on a mission to be healthy, and I just had to keep going. I'm not out there to have fun.
No.
Unbelievable. Thanks again, brother.
Thank you.
All right, when we
Thanks so
come
much.
back, we're going to have our first From the Floor of 1,000 Islands Disc Golf Rapid Fire question, and we'll see where that takes us.
Disc golf, yeah.
We go now to the floor of the Thousand Islands Disc Golf store, where visitors from both local and from afar are quizzed on the spot with random questions.
All right, this is questions from the floor at 1,000 Islands Disc Golf. Today we're talking to...
Matt Williams.
All right, let's start with how many discs are currently in your bag?
A dozen.
How many discs total do you own?
Probably about 30.
Right on. How long have you been playing disc golf?
So I've been playing for 4 years now.
What course do you find yourself playing the most in Brockville?
Well, I live literally just down the street from FLYBOY Weiser's 3, so I play that the most for sure.
What is your go-to putting putter?
Fractal PA4,
What is your go-to throwing putter?
a PX3.
Go-to mid-range?
It's 50-50 between the M3 and the M4.
What is your go-to distance disc?
X5 Air without a doubt.
What does flippy mean?
Flippy means don't throw it in the wind.
Beyond shipwrecks, what other unique things do divers see in the St. Lawrence River off the banks of Brockville?
A local artist who does sculptures that they put underwater.
Who cut your hair?
Jeff on Buell Street.
What is your biggest pet peeve regarding other players when playing around?
Stepping in front. If I'm about to take a shot and someone is walking in front.
What is a death putt?
I'll tell you exactly what a death putt is. Number 17 on FLYBOY, Canada 1. Elevated basket right by the creek.
That's awesome. That's all there is.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Disc golf, yeah.
I was smiling through that.
That's a cool segment, man. I really like that.
Matt came into the store on the weekend and he wanted to pick up an X3, the X5 Air. He's one of the few people who know about that disc, and now that Prodigy is like completely kiboshed the whole X line and stuff like that. Weird situation, but he wanted to rush in and make sure he got one. And I just finished writing all the questions, and as soon as he got there, I was like, "Oh, you're the guy! You're the guy!"
He gets to be the first.
You got to be the first, yeah, absolutely. And he did a great job.
Yeah, I like those questions. The first one I kind of smiled at was the number of discs in your bag. And, fortunately, I just went through all my discs on the weekend to see what I had and where I was at and how many more I needed. And it turns out, including the ones hanging on the wall, I've got 40.
Wow.
Yeah, oops.
Oops, I got you beat already. I just started April 9th.
Well, and my brother has 3 or 4 of them, but they're not counted, so.
Right.
Yeah, so Jeff on Buell Street, that's that little small place.
Yeah,
right?
Ginger's Barbershop, I think it's called.
Right.
Yeah, I've had my hair cut there a couple of times, but I've had someone that's cut my hair for, well, I won't say how many years, but I have been to Jeff. He's and when you go by, even though he's cutting, he always waves out the window. It's a great spot and common spot for everybody to go.
Cool. The Flippy comment was pretty funny. Yeah. So being new, I think I know what flippy means. Like it's like how much it flips up, right? Like.
Yeah, well, you have an unstable disc
Yeah.
when you throw it on a hyzer line.
Yeah.
The turn, when it hits max velocity, it's going to pop that disc
Yeah,
up. And
hyzer flip, correct?
that's a hyzer flip.
Right,
You got it.
Okay.
So if you've got a very flippy disc
Yeah, in the wind.
in the wind, a forward-facing wind, and that thing pops up, it just keeps popping and just turns into a roller.
Yeah. That's what's
doesn't-
happened to me.
Yeah, it doesn't come back.
Right.
So it's got no finishing fade on it.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. and the death putt, I didn't really know what the definition of that was, but yes, I know that's number 17, and it should be banned.
I think everyone in our group knows that putt as well. It's I've seen a lot of rounds go awry at that hole. I've been in the lead a couple times and blew it there, right there, man. Elevated basket right into the water. You don't think it's going to happen, and it just, what happened? It just goes in.
Your score's under, and then you're over. Yeah.
Just don't go in the water, man. Just make
right there. It's right there.
Just make the putt. Just make the putt.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, I know the definition of that, and I would agree.
He really, I think every one of his discs that he chose was a Prodigy, and so I think just because what we were talking about earlier, this is Prodigy country. It's like the investment, and but I'm sure we'll have some other people who've got quite a different range of discs that they're going to be using. We'll look forward to hearing about that.
Right. Yeah, cool segment. You know what? The whole pet peeve thing. Like what you guys have played a lot. What's yours, Greg?
Too much socializing. We're there to play.
Right.
Like you get to the hole, you make your shots. You don't stand there chatting away forever. But you're in a group.
Right.
You guys are socializing and playing. But when I'm out there, I'm usually there. Well, I'm there to play, and then I've got somewhere else I've got to go. So I don't want a whole lot of standing around chit-chatting. I like socializing as we walk, but no, not holding up the game. Yeah. I'm ready to play.
What about you?
For me, like we seem to be, a bigger group, so it's hard to do when you're golfing with a few guys. But there seems to be one guy that's always, finishing a little bit too quick, walking in front of putts and stuff. Like he wants to get out of the way, but it's the order falls out of place. So that happens. That makes me mad.
Yeah, I'll I'm going to agree with. There's lots of pet peeves to worry about, but I just want to talk about this one Matt has.
Right.
Don't go to your disc. Don't look at your disc. Don't get in the way. You have to let that person play the hole in the moment. Like, don't even stand beside them. Don't be in the peripheral view. Give them that moment, that 30 seconds they have, to actually feel like they're the only person on the course. Right. And they're there by themselves. And that's the only fair way to play. Rushing over to the other side because you went long, and then standing there and you keep looking at your disc, like, okay, well, is he going to throw it? I can pick it up. Just get out of the way.
Right.
Stay behind people. Stay far behind. Don't even creep up on the sides. Just let the person have their moment. It's a real problem, and especially when you're playing with a group of people, because the worst thing is when somebody says, "Oh, that doesn't bother me." Well, it's fine that doesn't bother you, right. But by you saying that just negates that person's situation. Sure. Don't say that doesn't bother you. Just simply say nothing. Stay behind the person. Let the person play, and then go to your disc. If your disc went long, you're going in that direction or whatever. Even if you're 2 feet further away from the basket from the other person, just give them the common courtesy to be in the moment with the game, right. And not feel rushed, because it's a manipulation factor, which I find. Right. I find that especially
like a mind game kind of
I don't think people unknowingly. I don't think people knowingly do it, right. But they're setting a tone, right? Especially if you're playing with a newbie is playing with somebody who's playing with 3 other guys who are always playing together, and they already know their ins and their outs and everything like that, and they have a tempo, and that controls the game. Right. So it's funny, you see these guys who play amazing rounds together, and then you split them up and put them in with other people, right. And their game just goes to total garbage, right? Because the tempo gets ruined. And no, I don't think people intend to do it. Right. But stick with the rules, common courtesy. Let that person play out properly. Allow them to feel like they're the only person in the rule. And I'm going to double down on this. Uh-oh. And I'm going to say, shut the F up. It is far too common, and it's with casual rounds and everything else, where people are talking when somebody is throwing. Right. And it is, and some people are just talk ridiculously.
That's the socializing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I get it. You're playing a casual round, you don't care. But if you're playing with somebody new, or it's just good common practice. Right. Once that person addresses their lie, and they pick up that disc and about throw, right. Nothing you have to say is important. So Be quiet, give that person that moment, show them respect, and then you don't have to worry about the irritation factor growing. Right.
So I'm one of those guys that said, I don't care, you can stand there, it doesn't bother me at all, but I'll make my throw, and no matter what happens, it goes the other way. I think I'm fine. I look at it and I go, I don't care that person's standing over to the left, and then I throw and my disc will go way to the right. It's just like a safety thing in my mind. Exactly. And I throw the disc and I'm like, that doesn't bother me. I don't care that they're there. I know I'm not going to hit them. But then I throw it and it's the other way. And then I ask for a mulligan and everybody says no.
Mulligans don't work, man.
Well, no,
but it's your brain, right? Your brain is telling you to be safe.
It is.
And if you see something and you're constantly playing safely,
it's a distraction.
It's even just deeply subconscious.
It's
there, and it does affect me.
I don't want to harp on it too much. I'll just run this by you quickly. So if you're addressing a putt and I'm about to putt, and someone yells "miss," that's bad, right? That's from my brother. You got to stop doing that, man.
Yeah. No, I think that really to be fair to everybody, somebody gets to their lie, they pick up
That's it.
their disc, they've got their putter in their hand, and it's pretty much not just putting; it's everywhere.
Sure.
Like if you're stuck in you're stuck in the woods and you're trying to out something, and some guy's like, 10 feet to the northwest of your vision line or something like that, you may think you're going to hit them. Just let people take their shots.
Right.
Give them common courtesy. That's
More fun.
I'll
More
stick
fun
with
that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
Yeah, there's some talking points from the floor episode.
Absolutely.
You know what? I like the one about the diving. I like that. I'm not a diver, but man, diving's big here in Brockville.
Sure.
And I mean, I'm probably too old to start diving now. I'm not going to get into it, but I would have liked to have been doing some diving around here, and it's so popular.
It's one of the clearest waters in the area, right?
Yeah.
As fresh as the best freshwater diving in the world.
Yeah, it's right up there. And I mean, what they've done in this area and what they've put out in the water that's added, as well as the natural shipwrecks and everything that. Anyway, when that was a good question, because it had nothing to do with disc golf, has to do with the community around here.
Absolutely.
And I like that. And I used to swim a lot down at Hardy Park when I was young, and never even thought of diving.
But how cool is that? I mean, so ultimately, one of these days we're going to have to connect with divers,
Right.
And we're going to have this big distance driving competition where you drive your disc way out into the middle of the river, and then the divers have to go find it and bring it back.
Yes. I like it.
You know what? They'd love it.
Right on, guys. Thanks again for another great episode. Kevin Sexton, thanks for being here. Absolutely fantastic. Let's zip up the bag and till the next round.
Perfect.
Cheers.
My dietitian calls me the poster boy for diabetes.